Yeah. Okay.
Hey, hi guys. So we're the Furious Five. We have 5 people. My name is Dan. My superpower includes procrastination and poor judgment.
I'm Sam Jenkins. My superpower is communication.
I'm Lok. My superpower is learning, and I like sleeping.
I'm Cameron. My superpower is also communication.
I'm Tori. My superpower is reading.
So we picture this person from the profiles on the internet. This is a 10-year-old girl named Ada, and she's a daughter of a very big family. Her family is very low income. We modeled her after a profile of a family that has a monthly income of $29. That's low. She has to tend to her family's farm in quarters, so she has to gather water and firewood every day. She has to take care of the goats. She has to clean, and she has to take care of her agricultural business. And her hopes and dreams is that she wants to have a bike for the family. And we went over the journey of how, Ada would be, had she not received the vaccination, because meningitis is a very prevalent disease in the area, and where she lives is pretty rural, so there isn't really much, campaign ads for vaccinations, so she's not really informed on the matter. She could catch meningitis either from breathing the air or from contacting, any family members who has meningitis. And then she dies. And the challenges that, shape her journey is that she lives in a hot and arid weather. She lacks.
Let me interrupt for a second. Don't feel like you don't need to go through it all. Go take us a little bit higher level.
Oh, sure. So those are the challenges that she faces. And
You can go ahead and move to your challenge. The design goal.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so our problem here is that we have to get a vaccine to Ada and her family that has to be kept cold for a really long period of time. So we came up with a bunch of different ideas inspired by modern businesses and a bunch of other ideas from the other teams, and came up with 9 really good ideas, and we picked one that was to make a energy-free insulated container, sort of like a thermos that is vacuum sealed and keeps the vaccine at the appropriate temperature for extended periods of time with no energy, which makes it really cheap and easy and totally reusable. So hopefully that would allow the vaccine to get to Ada and her family quickly and cheaply so that it can be distributed around the area.
And the another question was, how do we make it very reliable and cheaper and perhaps more traditional and usable? So we created 2 prototypes. One is the insulator, and other one is sand refrigerator, where we could keep our vaccine. So in order to do that, we decided we will use the local resource, whether it's a human resource or human capital. So we come up with these ideas of employing local people to build this prototype, or perhaps using them to manufacture the product. And by doing that, we also believe that we will enhance the economic system and perhaps bringing more system into the community. And we come up with this story of Ada, and this is perhaps the story of all the people in Africa. So she realized that most of her friends died because of meningitis, and then Ada's realized that there must be something to done. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, in a way, when people see someone's trouble and whatnot. And then she goes to the church. She's Muslim, right? Mosque. So she goes to the religion institutions, and where she realized that there was a vaccinations, people are spreading. So she and her family received the vaccines, and she talked to the people who were manufacturing this product, and she get a job, and she work there, and she makes money, and she also bought a bike. So the good thing about this project is we have a very, very specific ideas. Perhaps it's more something that practically be done without any further more capital investment.
So saving money on the actual shipping of the vaccines hopefully could allow for more resources to be allocated to producing more vaccines, and the evaporative cooling with the sand-powered refrigeration hopefully would allow for vaccines to be distributed farther out from actual points of distribution already located in Africa, and give access to vaccines to a lot of new people.
So tell us a little bit more before we actually, tell us a little bit more. It's not clear what exactly the product is. Is it, what is the form? Is it on a bike? You looked at a bunch of, tell us more about what is your specific proposal for the sand-powered evaporation refrigerator?
So we kind of have two approaches wrapped up in this idea. The first is the vacuum sealed container that will insulate the vaccines without using any energy. So that's the big one. That'll cut down on a lot of costs of shipping when you take it from the initial production plant into Africa. That'll make it a lot cheaper than the current shipping methods, where they pretty much just use coolers and ice packs. Totally reusable, very cheap, very easy. Once you make the investment of buying all the materials you need, there's really no cost to use that system. And then once it's actually in Africa, these vaccines can be transported on a bike or in a backpack or something like that in that sand-powered evaporative cooling system to keep the vaccines cold, and that'll keep it, the range needs to be between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius. That can keep it as low as 4 degrees Celsius, so that'll keep it in that cold chain range, and that can be distributed, and then local people can be employed to deliver that around to whoever needs it.
And this is, you envision that this is, in what form? Is it like a backpack, or what exactly is it? Is it a container?
So
Is it-
the vacuum sealed ones would be large containers to be able to ship them in, if it needs to be on a plane or in a truck or something like that. And then you can scale that down as small as you need it, and same with the evaporative cooling. You can make that huge if you want, or you can make it small enough that you could carry it or put it in a backpack or something like that. And that can be made really light through just a simple bucket and things like that. So very cheap. They're already distributed in Africa in terracotta pots for $1.30 a piece. So
So you're building on something that already exists?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So since Africa is a country of very little transportation, we decided that our product will shape in any forms, including cattle can carry.
Okay. So using a core technology which can be molded into various forms is your proposal. Got it, okay. Other questions? Any other questions? Comments? Just, the one team got all the questions? Yeah.
So, in terms of this vacuum sealed container, how vacuumed out would it be, and would it be easy to open it on the other?
Right, so that would scale with how well you would be able to seal it. So the better you can insulate it, the farther you can transport it without it coming out of that temperature range. So you could make that as tight a seal as you want. And then, again, as we were saying, you can keep this outside the temperature range for a very short period of time. So if you needed to unseal that when it's 95 degrees out, that's not a problem if you then put it in that evaporative cooling system. So when you unseal it, it might come out of the temperature range shortly, but then you'd have those other cooling methods handy.
But my question is more how difficult would it be to unseal it? Because if you got it, pumped out and not enough air in there.
Very true.
Yeah, well, you could do that with
That,
if you had that.
open.
So let's say you shipped it from France to your distribution center in Algiers, you just need a pump in your distribution center to unseal those things and
So
then
you
put
would
them.
envision it getting transported in some sort of vacuum container to, somewhere that's got a pump.
Right,
And then when you're sending it out to, say, a rural community that probably won't have a pump,
No,
then you switch to the sand?
yes,
Do that.
Okay, that makes
right,
sense.
right.
Okay.
So pump it out at the last possible location that you can have a pump,
Okay.
then switch it to evaporative cooling and distribute it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And, I want to ask you, I'll just suggest it. Again, write this up as a one page, have some photos of your boards and so on, and let's go to the next stage of testing this. to see, who knows, might lead to something. I think it's, again, a really interesting approach. So really,
With
I mean,
great potential.
with a lot of potential, with zero power. And that means you can just send in regular containers that cost $100 a day or less versus 1,000 euros a day. So, this could really change the game. All right, nice work, Tim.